Hello everyone. Welcome to another program of Connections. My name is Jim Matera, principal here at the Center for Career Services. I welcome today Jake Romer, who is a senior from New Rochelle High School and a second-year television video production student. And we're here to talk a little bit about social media. Welcome, Jake.
How are you?
Thanks for joining me. Pretty good. Recently I saw an article on a new smartphone app called After School. And, as I was reading the article, it made me think of how technology is changing so quickly that us adults can't really keep up with, its reach. So I just wanted to bring someone in to help me kind of give me a little briefing on some things to pay attention to from a principal's point of view in terms of social media. So tell me about After School.
Well, After School, it's been around for like a while now actually, but it was taken out off the App Store I think in around April, and because a lot of people were complaining about it because of bullying, since they you can post anonymously about it was supposed to be for you can post your problems, you were having you need advice on something.
Okay.
But it turned into a bullying app since it was anonymous. People could hide behind a screen and say bad things about people at their high school. Since you have to connect your Facebook account and say this is the high school you go to, that you attend this high school, and so people who can't go to don't go to high school can't get into that feed. It's just a few people in the high school.
So basically, you have to be like a Southern Westchester BOCES Center for Career Services, for example, student, and then that's the only way you can get onto that board for that school.
Yeah.
How is it anonymous? Can you explain how it's anonymous?
There's no usernames. There's no photos of yourself. You can't post anything. You can't add something that says it's you, or you can't have a full profile picture or anything like that. It's things like animals, different profile pictures.
Okay.
So that's how they keep it anonymous.
Got it. So explain the difference in a social media site like a Facebook or a Twitter, and how that's being used versus an after-school app.
Well, I feel like Facebook's more for socializing. Well, socializing, talking to other people, posting stuff that you do. Let's say you go on vacation, you post your photos from your vacation, or let's say you went to a party with a bunch of friends, you post photos from the party, or share videos on Facebook, which is becoming very common now. People don't really post statuses anymore. They kind of share viral videos on Facebook.
Okay.
And After School is used more posting your problems, something you're embarrassed about, how to come out to your parents, or let's say you cheat on your girlfriend, you just need to get it out. But it's really turned into a bullying ad. People see a lot of bullying on it.
Okay, I think in the article I read about a female student that had her phone number posted. Did you?
Yeah, I read about that. A female student, someone posted her phone number on the app and the high school feed for it, and said call or text this person. She'll send you inappropriate photos. And a lot of people were calling and texting her. So she actually change her number and block other people.
Okay. Yeah, so social media especially, and the internet even, is really changing the way that I think bullying is happening, which is the bigger issue. We always talk from people my age, bullying was much different when I grew up. Basically, if you were going to bully me, you could maybe spread a rumor to, one of your friends, but eventually you would get back to me that you started that rumor, and we would have a face-to-face interaction about it. Now, with this anonymous way of doing things, there's really no way to always know who's saying things, so I think that's changed things. So how often are students or people talking about cyberbullying in terms of is it weekly that this is happening, or is it daily, or is it, when you're seeing it, how often?
I had the app over the summer, and I saw it a lot. I saw a lot of cyberbullying because people can hide behind a keyboard. They don't have to say it to the person's face, like you said, and so they feel freer, and they can really say more to offend the person, which they wouldn't really say face to face because there would be repercussions for saying something like that to their face. And since they're behind a keyboard, the person can't really retaliate or protect themselves.
So it's happening pretty often?
Pretty often, yeah.
Another term I've heard is World Star, and I'll give you an example. I approached as a principal on a confrontation in a classroom. It wasn't a fight, but it was a confrontation, and there was an argument going on, and I heard people yelling "World Star," and I was kind of like, "Well, what's that now?" And then we go and start looking into things. So can you explain that to me?
World Star is a website. It's kind of like YouTube, but you see a lot of stuff that can't be posted on YouTube, like fight videos and other stuff that's really inappropriate or shouldn't be really shared in a public place. So a lot of people will record fights and scream World Star, which means, oh, this is going on World Star, and then they'll post the fight like on that website.
So then everybody knows to go to World Star to see it.
But usually, their main source of like views, like because like people share the World Star videos on Facebook, and that's how they get like most of their views from it.
Are there any other smartphone apps or any other social media outlets that I should be made aware of, or that adults watching this would be made aware of that we should pay attention a little bit more to?
There's an app called Yik Yak, and it's similar to After School where you can post like stuff anonymously, but it's mainly for college campus. Like if you try to go on it where near a high school, it won't let you on because it's made for like colleges. And it's all anonymous too. So that's been in the news lately for like, I think it was Missouri State. Someone posted something about like not liking black people, and like there was a big outcry about it. And they found who it was, and like they kicked them out of school. So like they're anonymous.
I think you just brought up a good point too. Is that having conversations with high school students about the social media and about the dangers of the social media. I don't get the sense that most students realize how much trouble they can get themselves into by posting something. And just yesterday I was having a conversation with a student, and I said, if you were to make a verbal threat, then we would have to prove that you actually said that, and there would be really no way for us to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you did that. But if you're going to put it on social media, I could actually print it out, and it's going to show me that you said it, and so that's changed things too. Do you get a sense that your friends or classmates or people in the schools kind of understand the impact like it could have on you as an adult?
I think like most people in my friend group understand it because I have to keep like my friends close knit and like really like, I don't want to say well behaved, but they were like act more professional. But like I feel like a lot of kids today don't understand that how dangerous social media can be. Like once you put something out there, it's out there for you can't like, even if you delete the post, it's always going to be out there somehow. Like the database for Facebook or Twitter, and like people, if you say something like a threat or something like really offensive on the internet, and people can take it as like seriously, and you can get a lot of trouble for it.
Right.
My aunt's a detective in Scarsdale, and she tells me she had cases where like a girl told another girl she was gonna like fight her on Facebook and get her boyfriend to like beat her up, and she actually like go to both the parents' houses and like say that your daughter can get a lot of trouble for this, and I think charges were pressed against one of the girls.
Right. I know one of my friends is a detective locally, and the police will actually go on Facebook and go on these different social media sites and kind of look around for some of the kids in the community, and they'll make arrests based on some of the things that are being posted, like a certain party or certain things that are happening. I always, being at the career services campus, think of the impact it would have on you getting a job, because I don't think, like at this age, you're always thinking about that career that you're going to have eventually. And I know a lot of employers are now like finishing up at the interview and saying, okay, now I'll give you the job. You just open up your Facebook page and let me take a look at what's on there. So I know there's courses that are even being offered on how to have a profile that speaks to you as a professional. It's similar to have an email address. When you give out your email, it shouldn't be something silly. If it's going to be professional, it should be something professional. But is there anything else we can do as a school to kind of help with the social media aspect of things to help you guys deal with it in school a little bit better? Or
I think it's hard because I think it's hard because like kids won't always like listen. Like I think the best way to do it, like show kids example like what can happen if you're not like if you don't take like social media like seriously about what backlash you can have. Like show kids that maybe like didn't accept it at college because something they said on social media, or like kids who didn't get jobs because they were told to open their Facebook account and there was something offensive they posted. I think just showing them the repercussions or the backlash from their actions can really have an effect on them. And
unfortunately, sometimes you just have to see the backlash for yourself, you know what I mean? Because people could tell you, but unless it actually affects you personally. I'm a parent too. I always think of what it's going to be like for my children who are young when they get a little bit older, what changes are going to happen either in technology or anything that I'm going to have to kind of stay ahead of the game as a parent. But again, as a school, we're trying to be proactive because my role as a principal has changed. If I was a principal 10 years ago, I wouldn't have to deal with as much of the spillover of things that happen on social media that end up happening in the school. Mondays are usually a busy day because things happen over the weekend, and
It's the weekend,
they
yeah.
spill into the class on Monday. So, but we definitely want to try to keep up to date on certain things so we can help you guys out and help you navigate through it. So, anything else that we should know about the smartphone app, social media that would be helpful for people watching?
Well, I said it once, I'm going to stress it again. Once you post something on the internet, it's there for good. So like even if you delete a status or a photo or a tweet, it's going to be there. It's going to be in the database. And if they need to find it, they will. And most apps like Yik Yak and AppSchool aren't really anonymous because they're like IP addresses that the app can go into.
Right.
If let's say you make a threat, they can find, even though it says it's anonymous, they can go into that IP address and find the phone it was posted from, and you can still get in trouble. It's like anonymous isn't anonymous, and once you post something, it's there forever. It's like.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining me today. I
My pleasure.
appreciate it. Okay, and thank you for joining another episode of Connections, and see you soon.